in a minute after we go over the market wrap. Okay, so and you can probably tell what I'm referencing just from the title of this video, but let's go ahead and get started. This is Ifan from the Strategic Day Trader, and this is your market wrap for June 17th, 2019. Q's up 0.56 and SPY basically flat here, showing a little bit of relative weakness to the Q's, but mostly not going anywhere. Okay, same with the Q's here. Okay, coming into today, our market bias was neutral. We've been in a range for the last few days here, just stuck. As you can see, stuck sideways. We did have an initial bearish bias, and then the bearish bias was negated when we broke the downtrend. And so we've been neutral for the last few days. Okay, and that is going to remain the case going into tomorrow. I think what's good confirmation that we are stuck in a range is that we had an attempt to move lower here, 181.94, which broke the low from a couple days before that. And there was no follow through. Today we tried to break above Thursday's high, and then there was no follow through on the Qs here. SPY even more sideways. So in order for something to stay sideways, if it tries to break down and it's met with an equal reaction to the other direction, that is essentially how these sideways consolidations are maintained. Okay, so try to go lower, no follow through, try to go higher, no follow through. We are going to remain neutral going into tomorrow using the range from the last few days. Okay, as if we break above, then we're going to be bullish. If we break below, then bearish. Okay, expecting follow through lower. So going into tomorrow, over today's high, that's over 184.25, and then the low from Friday is 181.94. So if we get below that or we gap below it, then we'll have a short-term bearish bias. If we break above today's high, short-term bullish bias. If we break above, then we'll also have a long-term bullish bias that is matched up with the short-term. If we break below, we will have a short-term bearish bias, but the long-term is still bullish. Here's the weekly. Right here is the monthly, still in an uptrend, still looking higher. Okay, all right, so not too much to go over. Made it nice and quick there. Market bias going into tomorrow, neutral using the range from the last few days. Okay, so what was I talking about and mentioning that it can make a big difference to how your day goes, especially on days like today. So notice how really not that much participation in the broader market here, right? Now, if you're looking to do scalps, maybe just, take some off the highs or pick some up off the lows, maybe that is a good environment for you. For me, I am looking for big moves. Okay, I'm looking for something that's likely to trend all day and close at the highs or close at the lows. Okay, something like the CJ, or today's official call was the PB. Okay, these, right, for me, give me the highest chance for success because I don't have to be perfect in picking the bottom or the top and then getting a few cents here or there, right? I'm looking for moves that are dollars per share, okay? Especially if it's a decent sized stop, okay? So what I'm referencing here is knowing what is available, knowing what the opportunities are, right? And I think whether you are a very experienced trader or you are just starting out, right? The room provides you a good way to focus and learn. Okay, so we'll start with this PB. Okay, I'm not going to go over every little detail on it. It was a pro gap, meaning I'm going to be playing with the gap. It was a gap down, market was gapping up, and then we had a breakdown here. Okay, I'll show you what the numbers were on the PB. It was a short as it broke down right here, right? This is where we entered. You can see it took us some time here before we finally got a target one, which was right in here, right? And then trailed the rest on the hourly until we got a nice drop right there, and then took the rest. So we took the rest, I think, around 63.25, Okay, you can see it's all the way down to 62.54 now. So didn't get the whole thing, wasn't in it till the end, although that was the goal. It's just we didn't have, we got a nice drop in our favor and didn't have a really nice place to trail. Okay, so on plays like this, if you're new to trading, if you're just starting out, right, you'll get to follow what I'm doing. I'll tell you exactly where we're going to be entering, right? So in the case, once it breaks, in the case of this one, as soon as it breaks 25, right, we got triggered in on this red bar, okay? And I'm telling you where the targets are, where we're going to look to take profits, and updating you in real time as it happens, right? You can follow kind of the kind of timestamps there, which for me, I'm on Pacific time, so you can see that market opens 6:30 for me. So, if you're East Coast, just add 3 hours to that if you wanted to match up with the chart. But I'm updating you in real time as I am getting ready to take profits on this, okay? So you get to follow along, okay? But even if you're more experienced and you say, well, I already have my own management plan in place, I know what I'm looking for, then, the room is going to still find you. Maybe you didn't have this ACM, right, that was breaking out, right, to new highs after this pullback. Or one of our room members found this SPOT base, put it out well before it triggered here, right? Nice consolidation. I think anybody that plays base breakouts is going to see this and think, what a beauty there on the SPOT. I didn't have it. That's someone from the room, and they found it and put it out. Okay, same thing, LQ. We had a 15-minute buy set up here, right, on the retracement, very bullish daily. That was another room member who found this, okay, like this daily, and put that out, right? PB, which was an official call, the only official call for me today to play this short, right? And something a little bit different, right? One of our room members who specializes in counter trend plays. This is a climactic where you have a series of 5 red bars in a row, lower lows and lower highs, right? And then they accelerate and put in the biggest bar at the bottom, and you play that for the counter trend play, or something like the CG. And man, the CG was the biggest miss of the day, but I'll tell you why I passed on it, right? I passed on it because big topping tail, not sure how much resistance still in this topping tail, because what happens when this topping tail occurs is that there might be trapped longs in there. That's going to be potential supply, right? So as you move back up, I wanted to see how I was going to deal with that, and as soon as it broke over this area, there it went. So, these are the kind of things that I'm going to be looking for day in and day out, right? These are the ones that, if you play this long, it's really hard not to make money. I know there are a lot of really good scalpers out there who can, make a quick, they might show you this chart and say, well, I shorted it here and then I covered it there. And those, are great, and it takes a lot of skill, but they're very hard to follow. Something like this PB, as you saw, we were in it for hours, right? We were in it from the time that we got in, and you could have been in it all day. That would have been the right thing to do, and that's generally what I'm looking for, right? Something's going to close at the lows, right? That way, you're not just having a ruined trade just because you blinked, right? It's something like this PB or this CJ, right? You can really try to stick with it, or as we did on the PB, take some as you're getting rewarded and then try to hang on and see how much it wants to give you. Okay, so on a day like today, where a lot of stuff is going to react to the market or do some variation of the market, and the market's just kind of sideways, especially the SPY, right? A lot of back and forth, up and down, and then basically flat, right? It's that much more important that we find these outliers, okay? Something like the ACM, right? Very nice gap, clearing resistance. The spot, very nice pattern. LQ, bullish daily, also a slight gap up. This was a gap down, right? You can see the uniqueness of these. And so if you're looking at a lot of the stuff that looks the same, you're not sure how to find them, right, or what the high odds plays, then that's where the room can really help you. I think it gets a little bit easier to find these kind of plays when earnings season comes, but we're still basically a month, almost a full month away from earnings season, right? So one thing that T3 is doing to help you is they're offering a limited time offer right now. It's going to be a link in the description here for you to check out. That way, you can really kind of benefit over these next few weeks and not get chopped up, not be stuck with really low odds plays. And then if you decide it's not for you after the 1 month subscription, right, and you're ready to go, it's earnings season, you know what to look for, then you can be back on your own, take what you learned from the room as far as management and scanning, and that'll be all to your benefit. So check that out. That's something that I think any trader from just starting out to experienced and self-sufficient can benefit from. Even if you just use the room as idea generation, right? One idea will more than pay for that subscription. So there is a limited time offer for a 1 month subscription going on in the for the room right now. So just check it out in the description. That's going to do it for today's market wrap. Like I said, scanning is really more important now than it is when in a month from now. Okay, because if you don't have these kind of plays to work with, you're not even aware of them as they're setting up, you're going to be stuck with a lot of kind of sideways stuff that's going to look a lot like the SPY. You can see today, right, not that many people pushing price around, very narrow range day. It's pretty hard not to get chopped up in stuff like this, okay? Going into tomorrow, neutral bias, just using the range from the last few days, very narrow on the Qs, very narrow on the SPY, but that's what we'll be working with, okay? Pretty straightforward. Over the range, higher, below the range, we'll be looking lower, okay? All right, hope you did well today. If not, we'll be back at it tomorrow and see what the market brings us. All right, have a good evening.